you're in apartment B, Merrick is in, apartment C. And how do you compensate for that to keep your creativity alive? I mean, I don't know if I'm even asking this right, but I have been wondering about that with the last few guests that we've spoken to, and I haven't really had a chance to ask this specific question until now.
Well, what we've been doing mainly so far is writing. So we've all got recording software, so we've been recording our own parts and then emailing or Dropboxing those over to each other, and then one of us will collate them. And what it has allowed us to do is to write in a very different way. So each of us has more time to come up with an idea, rather than if we're all together and we've got, a few hours of time together in a rehearsal room or something to write, and you've got to come up with something there, and then somebody fires off that. So it's kind of more laid back, which is quite nice.
Sure. No, I understand. I understand the mechanics of what you're saying, but I guess what I'm getting at is the mentality, the emotional, the emotional. The spirit of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
How is that different now than when you're all in the same room together? And how have you been able to cope with the lack of being able to be in the same room, being able to give each other a hug when an idea pops, that kind of thing?
I think this is a very good question because, Ian's saying that the technological bit works quite well because, you hear something, you've got time to work on it, and then you ping it back to the guys. And that's good. But what I think from my point of view, and probably predictably as a woman, I miss just kind of being able to say something quickly or to like something quickly and then just, discuss it and then see people's faces. And also, everything takes a lot longer doing it remotely, obviously, because, Ian might come up with a guitar bit and we're here in the same house, but Marek isn't. So Marek might think, I don't like that. Can you change one note? But if you were in the room together, he would say that in 2 seconds and it would happen instantly.
It'd be done on the spot.
In this case, in this scenario, it takes a day to go back and forwards with the music to sort of hear it. Pros and cons.
Yeah, and I think also it's more interesting because if you get something and, one of the guys sends you something to work with, that's all you've got to work with. So you almost have to be more creative and give it a go rather than just maybe saying, that doesn't sound like what we usually sound like. So instead we're trying different ideas and we're being a bit more varied. So that's cool.
I think we're both definitely missing the people aspect, because we, as a foursome, as people, we like each other a lot. We get on really well. We make each other laugh. And that kind of creates a nice vibe in the rehearsal studios, and so we're missing that.
We do send each other a lot of jokes.
You're kind of,
we send each other a lot of COVID jokes.
Right. You're kind of trading off the spontaneity for the creativity. You can't be spontaneous and instantaneous, but you're compensating for that by reaching into your bag of tricks and creating. You're being creative, as you said a few moments ago. Be sure and tell the people how they can find you online, follow you, get your music, and get in contact with you.
Okay, so the obvious thing is our website, bornhealer.com. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter. We're getting very clever with our technology. We're dragging ourselves into the 21st century. We've got a YouTube channel which is just Born Healer. And also you can get all of our music on Spotify and iTunes. And we've kind of got most things covered. We haven't got Instagram yet, but we've got most things. So we're kind of out there. And if you put bornhealer in .com, you can definitely get to us fairly quickly. We've got email, and we're quite accessible.
Great, and that's a great thing. We've got about 1 minute left here, and before we wrap this up, I want to give you a chance to tell us about this new track, your current release, Heavy Rumble. Tell us about that.
Well, it's got a bit of a dare I say, Native American feel to it. Just a kind of, it's not straight blues, it's just a little bit rocky, so it's quite interesting, I think, musically.
I had a kind of a song idea, and then what often happens with other songs is Marek comes up with a nice groove on the bass, and he and Steve or Andy before him would work it up to a nice groove. And quite often the bass and the drums don't really change through the song, but the chords change. So you get a nice kind of juxtaposition with the two.
And there's a video to go with it as well that we recorded. So it's actually got it's a package that you can see on YouTube. On YouTube, basically.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ian and Helen, for coming in and spending time with us today. A pleasure getting to know you. And we look forward to following you and hearing from you. So please stay in touch, and we look forward to having you back on the show in the near future.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to talk to you all.
Lovely to speak to you.
I hope you all stay well and stay safe.
And you guys, too, all the best to you. Ladies and gentlemen, they call themselves Born Healer, and here is Heavy Rumble.
so much trouble just ain't worth the pain. Oh, it ain't hard to be humble.
And there you go. They call themselves Born Healer. That's a thing called Heavy Rumble, and really happy to have them join us today. It's been an interesting show, and some great music, some great artists. We want to thank our guests today, Helen from Born Healer, and of course Gregory Crimson of his band Dead Superheroes and his own solo career. Thank you so much for being here, and we thank you, our listeners, for joining us, and hope you'll tell a friend and come back and listen again next week. John Bon Jovial, take us home.
Okay, well, thank you, David. And you've done it again. You've spent another perfectly good hour with us here at the David Bowers Awards, and we are extremely grateful for your presence. The David Bowers Awards. Well, we are broadcast around the world from the studios of Computer Help USA in Naples, Florida, and the Valley of the Sun in Tempe, Arizona, and we're available for free on most major streaming services. Follow the David Bowers Awards on Twitter, LinkedIn, and, of course, Facebook. And also, now you can find us at colleges all over the country on the College Underground Radio Network. That's right. Join us next week for the David Bowers Awards, Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern on WRFZ-FM 106.3 on the FM radio dial. That's Rochester Free Radio, and on Blog Talk Radio, Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 6 to 7 p.m. UTC. Until next week, for the David Bowers and Nick, our marvelously geeky engineer, I am yours truly, the lovably legendary John Bon Jovial, saying be good to each other, love each other, keep your distance, wash your hands, and we'll see you next week right here on the David Bowers Awards.